بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أحبابنا الأعزاء في مجموعة الإيجيبشن أوشا أو الإيوشا المصرية. أولا كل سنة وأنتم طيبين بمناسبة العيد. الفيديو ده ديديكيتد اللي بيتحدثوا باللغة الإنجليزية، فهي رسالة باللغة الإنجليزية. هستسمحكم إن احنا هنبدأها سريعا. هي كل الرسالات اللي احنا بنقدمها أو بنتكلم فيها بتبقى مرتجلة، ما بتبقاش مجهزة بمعنى انه لازم نعمل الرسالة الفلانية في الوقت الفلاني او الرسالة الفلانية تبقى محتواها بطريقة معينة، ولكن حسب الظروف. من الواضح جدا ان احنا ان شاء الله بننتشر وعليه. فرسالة دي اساسها رسالة واضحة للأوشا الأمريكية ولكل المهتمين اللي بيتحدثوا باللغة الإنجليزية علشان يعرفوا إيه المطلوب أو اللي عايزة تعمله الإيوشا المصرية. ونؤكد على إن المعنى ليس له علاقة بالأوشا الأمريكية. مش معنى إنه أمريكا عملت طيارة يبقى مصر ما تعملش طيارة أو الوطن العربي ما يعملش طيارة، لأن أمريكا عملت طيارة. الطيارة دي غير الطيارة دي، الأوشا دي غير الإيوشا دي، زي ما الأوشا الأمريكاني غير الكوشا الكوري، زي ما الأوشا الأمريكاني غير الإيو أوشا الأوروبي، أو أي ستاندرز تانية موجودة في كل حتة في الدنيا، في الهند، في الصين. كل واحد عنده الكنترول بتاع الأوكيبيشنال هيلث أند سيفتي أو سيفتي أند هيلث. والاتش اس اي عموما زي ما قلت لكم له قواعد عامه، ودي بتمثل 10% من الشغل، و90% بعد كده القواعد الخاصه لها علاقه بالمكان. فاحنا لا نعيد عمل العجله، ولكن احنا بفضل الله بنعمل سيستم يناسب مجتمعنا، لان ليه احنا الاقدر على فهم هذا السيستم. الدكاترة مثلا العرب والدكاترة المصريين مشهورين في كل أنحاء الدنيا، لأنه هو بيعرف ياخد العلم الحديث ويوظفه في خدمة مجتمعه اللوكال. وأظن طبعا عندنا شخصيات رائعة مشهورة، مش عايزين نقتصرها على بني آدم بعينه، لكن عندنا عشرات الشخصيات المشهورة اللي قدروا ياخدوا العلم الخارجي ويعملوا أحسن منه لوكال. نذكر على سبيل المثال الحصر أستاذنا الدكتور مجدي. long story short، الموضوع معمول للمتحدثين باللغة الإنجليزية اللي قعدوا يسألوا إيه هي الإيوشا، طب ووضعكم إيه، وهتتعاملوا إزاي في السلامة، وإيه الانيشيتيفز بتاعتكم. فإحنا هنبدأ نكلمهم. This message is designed specifically for English speakers who touch base with me personally and with us, inquiring about the initiative of the Egyptian Occupational Safety and Health Association. And we are sending a message that for me as an OSHA trainer and a certified OSHA trainer, as well as a consultant in New York State and Maryland states in the United States of America, in the fields of structural engineering, construction management, as well as structural safety, which is extremely important for the structural stability of existing buildings and also for brand new buildings. So safety becomes an essential part of our business, and we added the engineering experience to the safety experience combined. So we are being invited by OSHA inspectors at many locations to have our expert opinion about what's happening. So when it comes to construction, we are shooting above and beyond any safety specialist, because engineering is safety. And this is the most important part that everybody has to understand. Now, starting at the OSHA level, OSHA started in the early 70s, actually setting up the stepping stone for the safety business in both fields, construction and industrial. And then the Americans always are pioneers when it comes to, like, getting the niche first, and then everybody else follows. Based on this very fact, there is nothing better than the American standards to start with, so that we can understand exactly how they invented their wheel, so that we can transfer the exact same ideology, the exact same approach for our own adaptation and implementation and editing. And I mean by editing, adding, removing, because what suits, what is suitable for the American public when it comes to safety, and the American industry when it comes to safety, is totally different when it comes to implementing the same and borrowing the same to our Middle Eastern community, specifically in Egypt and elsewhere in the Middle East. Having said that, it is extremely important to highlight the very fact that we are not, and when I say we, i.e. in Egyptian OSHA, the EOSHA, we are not copying by any means the American OSHA when it comes to the citations, the number, the layout, dividing into sections, because what we are looking for is how they approach the government to issue OSHA to start with. And then if we can do the same by approaching our top governments, the decision makers, and to tell them safety always must be applied using a top-down or top-bottom approach. So all the instructions coming from the top of the pyramids, spreading all over in a very harmonized way. So the whole system functions based on a belief, based on a decision that is taken at the very highest level in a country, whereby they have decided that safety is extremely important. Having said that, OSHA, when they invented their OSHA Act, they have decided to go to the Congress to start thinking about safety. So they thought about enforcement first, and then how to enforce safety before even inventing the safety laws. And this approach is unique to us in the Middle East. Without the top management being convinced, and they deeply believe, and they are immersed totally in the idea of safety is life, and life is important, consequently safety is important. If this is not going to be in the belief of the decision makers, safety in the Middle East will be jeopardized. So we are using why OSHA was invented, to use the exact same approach to convince the decision makers in the Middle East that safety is a must when it comes to the construction industry and when it comes to the industrial industry or elsewhere. So it is being implemented. To be ISO certified, you definitely have to have in the industrial arena, you have to have all your safety manuals, all your safety programs, all your safety job descriptions and job allocation extremely designed, highlighted to the on a micro level. So you will have to have a site-specific safety manual, a site-specific safety program, hazard analysis, emergency action plans, and so on and so forth, so that you will be certified by ISO to produce a certain safe, healthy product. Having said that, in the Middle East, we are, i.e. we, the engineers of the Middle East, by far the experts of understanding our environmental impacts. If I will go and implement the OSHA standards directly without adaptation to our Middle Eastern community, if I do that, it is a big fatal mistake, because our environment is not ready yet to receive the safety rules and measures of the OSHA and directly implement that on our and project that on our environment. It is extremely important to give and highlight the very fact that OSHA is a unique set of rules that is designed, the OSHA itself is designed to serve the American workforce. Having said that, and protect the public, of course. Having said that, our workforce is slightly different in the Middle East, and then our public is totally different in terms of how the public, the public and the people, usual people on the street, perceive safety as an important issue, and we put putting money value on any safety measure. And this by itself will take time, but we never lose hope. There is also one important thing, that safety is being spread all over the Middle East, but it is, in my opinion, being spread as the COVID-19 virus. i.e., everybody goes to the West to get certified, OSHA, NEBOSH, or anything with an HSE in the name, and then they take this set of rules and they go back and they want to implement that as is, and then without any enforcement, without any authority, only takes the responsibility, but responsibility without authority equals zero. You don't get nothing achieved. And the only performance indicator in any construction field is the number of accidents that you have. So we have accidents in the Middle East that could easily be avoided if we implement the basic rules and safety highlighted in the OSHA in different areas. However, even OSHA, when it comes to, say for instance, soil analysis, will give you soil classification in general, but when it comes to the actual soil classifications, they will tell you, go and get a soil analysis report from the engineer. If you are designing, say, pipe scaffolding, and the pipe scaffolding has to be tied to the building, the number of ties to the building is extremely important and has to be designed in a certain rule. OSHA sets forth how many ties vertically and how many ties horizontally, but this is a lay person's way of arranging the ties, and you cannot apply that to pipe scaffolding directly at the site. Why? Wind load is different. Different pipe scaffolding, they constitute different types of scaffolding being erected, being tied to the building, the kind of building that you are tying to, and the set of other structural rules that is going to be applied in a certain country. So OSHA eventually, in every single situation, after they explain some empirical values for how to install pipe scaffolding, say for instance, and then they will, at the end of the story, they will tell you, however, an engineer has to be involved, or a licensed engineer has to be involved, a consultant has to be involved. So at the end of the day, what they do is to get the empirical values from the engineering, and they go back, tell you, but engineering is first. We get all our information from the first principles of engineering. So safety is engineering. So we have to train our people in the Middle East to respect the engineering aspect of safety. And this through training, through convincing the engineers that what they are doing is actually the heart of the safety business, and convince the safety managers that how to interface with the engineering aspect of the construction business, where to stop exactly, where to stretch your hand as a safety manager or a safety specialist to the engineer on the other side, so that we can bring you on the same interfacing table, where everybody will have his own say, where everybody is going to integrate together towards doing one thing and one thing only, to achieve the project with no accident, zero accidents. If we get the OSHA to be implemented directly to the Middle Eastern community and the Middle Eastern project, whether it is in Egypt, in Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the Arab United Emirates, will never be successful without the support of the top management, without the support of the decision makers, without the support of the rulers, without the support of the governments. So this is number one. Number two, OSHA is not transferable because OSHA now is not being delivered as an outreach program in the Middle East for one single reason. OSHA realized that there is no reason of teaching you how to work safely without having jurisdiction over your area, i.e., no OSHA inspector will be allowed in the Middle Eastern country to make sure that OSHA is being implemented. And hence, we need our own safety rules and regulations, and there is nothing better than the American OSHA to start with, so that we know exactly how the American people think about OSHA, think about safety, why they invented that wheel, so that we take the same, adapt it to our local community and local environment. Because once we scan our environment, and me being in both worlds, I know that our environmental scanning in the Middle East is totally and significantly different from the environment scanning elsewhere in the world. So we have our own rules, our own language, our own ideologies, whether it is religious or non-religious. We have our own society, and safety is dealing with people and land, and the land use planning aspect of the safety business. We are by far the experts. So OSHA has already decided not to train or give OSHA cards or OSHA, so whether it is 10 hours OSHA or 30 hours OSHA outside the United States of America, for one single reason: there is no meaning of teaching you safety while you are not going to use it as per the OSHA rules and regulations. EOSHA, the Egyptian OSHA, is basically an invitation to the top governments in the Middle East, and specifically in Egypt, to start having our own actual safety framework, whereby the main objective of which is to have set of safety rules to achieve all our construction projects to start with, and also in the industrial field, all our construction projects within the time frame of the critical path of each job, safe, without delay, and most importantly, without any accidents or even near misses. This is our mission, and this is how we are going to tackle it, and this is how we have outreach programs to reach out to the decision makers in the Middle East, because it's a golden opportunity to have people that they understand how to implement OSHA in the West, and they have worked with that, and they have the practical experience and the knowledge and the language and the communication soft skills, and also the writing skills to write specifications and theses and research, so that we can have our own Egyptian OSHA that can only be implemented in our jurisdiction, and will have by far more strict safety rules and standards that is beyond and above the American OSHA, because safety is not being practiced in our daily life. So our mission is even more important, and the burden on our shoulder is extremely heavy, and no one man single-handed can do that. And hence we have this outreach videos and speeches, so that we can invite everybody on the table. And if you are from Europe or from the United States or from the United Nations, if you are interested to participate and help us in the Egyptian OSHA, EOSHA, to make sure that we have a very tight system, very practical, can be implemented in the Middle East, to make sure that we achieve our construction revolution in a timely manner and with a safe, very safe actually, attitude. And this is our objective. Again, nobody can bring the standards, the international standards, to be implemented on a certain environment unless you have similar environments. And once the environment is not transferable, so the set of rules also are not transferable. We are going to get a taste of the American OSHA, but on our table in the Middle East. And I think that the American people also, the OSHA people in America, in the United States, will be very much interested to know how their set of rules are adapted to be implemented in a different country. Again, this was only like, an English introduction, and the only English introduction is going to be in our site, so that people coming from the outside world, if they are interested, you will have our how to communicate with us by emails, and then we'll give you our email and everything else. Please communicate in the comments, leave your comment, whether it is positive or negative. Everybody is invited. If you can help us in the Middle East to do our system in an efficient manner, please be our guest. We are very open for constructive opinions. We are also open to criticism if the criticism is going to help us to achieve our goals. Thank you very much for your time listening to us, and hope us and wish us good luck in our mission. Thanks.